Dear students, let's discuss today about the composition of blood. I am Durga Vijay Kumari, working as Assistant Professor in Biochemistry. Let's move ahead. You know that blood is fluid connective tissue and it accounts for total 8% of our body weight, and it is used in delivering the nutrients and gases to various cells and tissues. Coming to the color, the arterial blood is scarlet red in color because it is oxygenated, and the venous blood is somewhat purple red in color because it contains deoxygenated blood. These are some of the statistics of blood. The total volume of blood is about 5 to 6 liters. The pH is strictly maintained between 7.35 to 7.45, and the pH is said to be slightly alkaline in nature. You know that the pH 7 is neutral. 7 pH is neutral, and the pH of blood is just slightly higher than the neutral pH. The specific gravity is maintained between 1.05 to 1.06. The viscosity is blood is more viscous, 4 to 5 times viscous than that of water. Let's see the blood composition. It is mainly made of the plasma and formed elements. The formed elements fall in three categories: erythrocytes, leukocytes, and thrombocytes. If we eliminate these formed elements, it is nothing but plasma. We can also state that plasma is blood minus formed elements. Just take in a test tube, the anticoagulant is taken and then add the blood sample into this test tube and centrifuge it. After centrifugation, you will observe different layers are formed in the test tube. Due to the much weight, the RBC or erythrocytes, they form the bottom layer. Plasma, it forms the upper layer, and the middle layer is a buffy coat which is composed of WBC and platelets. This diagram explains well about the formation of plasma. The blood is taken in the sample test tube where the anticoagulant was already added to this one. After centrifugation, the layers are formed like this. The RBC go down to the bottom and the plasma will be the upper layer. Between the plasma and the RBC there is a white buffy coat which is less than 1% and is made of WBC and platelets. RBC make up of total 45% and plasma is about 55% of the blood. Coming to the blood cell count, that is in normal cases, erythrocytes, they will be around 5 million per microliter, and leukocytes, all the WBCs, which account for 4,000 to 11,000 microliters per microliter. Thrombocytes are 1.5 to 4 lakhs per microliter. These are in a normal individual. The cellular components of blood, mainly the RBC, WBC, and platelets, they are together known as hemocrit, or else we will observe in diagnostic report that it is PCV, which is nothing but packed cell volume, or hemocrit value. Hemocrit value is nothing but the packed volume of RBC, WBC, and platelets. Yes, the blood is mainly composed of the formed elements as well as plasma. Plasma, if we see, it is a clear, straw colored fluid portion of the blood which accounts for total 55% of blood, and it mainly contains three parts: solids, water, and gases. The solids can again be divided into organic substances as well as inorganic substances. The molecules which come under solids are organic substances as well as inorganic substances which are present in the plasma. Let's see. The first one are plasma proteins. In the plasma proteins, mainly we will observe the presence of albumin, globulin, and fibrinogen in the plasma. And the second category of organic substances are amino acids. Both essential and non-essential amino acids are present. We'll observe the presence of glucose in the blood because glucose dissolves in the blood and supplies to all the other tissues. And fats, we'll observe triglycerides, cholesterol, as well as phospholipids. Internal secretions like hormones are also found in the plasmid, and enzymes. Many enzymes are also present in the plasma, which are amylase, carbonic anhydrase, acid phosphatase, alkaline phosphatase, lipase, esterase, protease, transaminases. These are present in the plasma. Non-protein nitrogenous substances like ammonia, creatinine, xanthine, hypoxanthine, urea, and uric acid, they are present in the plasma. These are non-protein nitrogenous substances. That means they are not part of proteins, but they are the nitrogenous substances. Along with them, many antibodies are also present in the plasma. The above said are organic substances. Let's see inorganic substances like the sodium, calcium, potassium, magnesium, bicarbonate are present, chloride, phosphate, iodide, iron, copper. These are the inorganic substances which are present in the plasma. All the above said organic and inorganic substances are nothing but the solid components, and the plasma also contain gaseous component along with water. The gaseous component, they include oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen. These are the main gases. Oxygen, it is 80 to 100 millimeters of mercury is present, and carbon dioxide would be normally 23 to 29 milliequivalent per liter. Nitrogen would be 23 to 29 milliequivalent per liter, or 2.1 to 7.1 millimolar per liter. These are the normal constituents. Remember only one thing, that the gases are oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen which are present in the plasma. The above given description is about the plasma. Plasma is majorly composed of solids, the water, as well as the gases. Gases are, we have seen that oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen. The solids are divided into organic substances and inorganic substances. Let's go ahead with the serum. This, remember this diagram, we'll see. This serum is straw colored fluid. When the serum is formed, if the blood is allowed to clot in a test tube, that means if the blood is allowed to settle like that, if we leave the blood in a test tube, after some time it gives out serum. Serum is yellow colored or straw colored fluid. See here, this is the blood which, when allowed, gives rise to the serum. This is nothing but the serum component, and the blood coagulates and clots, goes to the bottom, and the remaining portion is nothing but the serum. Serum can also be defined as plasma minus fibrinogen and clotting factors. We have seen that plasma contains fibrinogen, but this fibrinogen is absent in serum because this fibrinogen is converted into fibrin during blood clotting. So serum is formed during blood clotting. And this serum has a higher concentration of serotonin. Serotonin is 5-hydroxytryptamine, which is present in high concentration in serum because of the breakdown of platelets during clotting. Let's see the functions of blood one by one. The blood is mainly respiratory in function. All these are the utmost important functions of the blood. It transports oxygen from lungs to tissues and carbon dioxide from tissues to lungs. Very important for gaseous exchange. And the next important function is nutritive function. The substances like glucose, lipids, amino acids, vitamins, which are derived from the digested food, they are absorbed from the gastrointestinal tract and then carried by blood to different parts of the body. That means, as blood is fluid connective tissue, it supplies all the nutrients to each and every part of the body. The next important function is excretory in nature. The blood transports all the metabolic waste. What are the metabolic waste? The urea, uric acid, creatinine, etc., to the kidney, skin, and intestine for their removal. So, it is useful in the removal of the waste products. Blood is also important in maintaining homeostasis of water and pH and electrolyte concentration. That means it maintains a balance. Okay. It has buffering power, which is given by the hemoglobin, which helps to maintain the pH constant. We already have seen that the pH of blood is around 7.4, which is slightly alkaline. This pH is maintained by the buffering action of the hemoglobin, usually by the bicarbonate system. And another important function of blood is it transports hormones and enzymes. Hormones, these are ductless glands, which are endocrine glands, and these secretions of the endocrine glands are directly released into the blood, and the blood transports these hormones to all the target organs and the tissues. The next important function is the blood is defensive in mechanism. How? Means it is the WBC which is responsible for the defense function, and the WBC is involved in the development of immunity, the B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes, which ultimately helps in the removal of foreign bodies like viruses, bacteria, and other pathogenic substances which invade our body are eliminated by our defense mechanism. Another important function of the blood is regulation of body temperature. Due to high specific heat of blood, it is responsible for maintaining thermoregulatory mechanism in the body, which means it maintains balance between the heat loss and heat gain in the body. Thereby, it maintains proper body temperature. What is the normal body temperature? It is usually 37 degrees Celsius is the normal body temperature, or 98.6 Fahrenheit. Another important function of blood is plasma protein function. These plasma proteins are very important, which are responsible for creating the osmotic pressure, which influence the exchange of fluid between the blood as well as the other tissues. Without the osmotic pressure, without the plasma proteins, the osmotic pressure can't be exerted. As the blood contains plasma proteins, the blood exerts osmotic pressure, thereby, it is involved in the exchange of fluid between the blood and tissues, and it also acts as reservoir of proteins. Okay, friends, these are some of the important points in the composition of blood. We have seen the composition of blood. Blood is nothing but fluid connective tissue, and blood acts as reservoir of protein. It contains many proteins. We have seen that it contains many enzymes. All enzymes are nothing but proteins. Along with the enzymes, many proteins like albumin, globulins, they are also present in the blood. So it acts as a reservoir of proteins. Let's sum up these points one after another. Blood is the fluid connective tissue, and the blood minus formed elements gives rise to plasma. The formed elements include RBC, WBC, and platelets. We have seen that plasma is composed of solids, water, and gases. Solids are again divided into organic and inorganic. In the organic, proteins, enzymes, hormones, and many other substances are present, like glucose, etc., are present. And in the gases, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide. That is about plasma. Serum is plasma minus fibrinogen, is nothing but the serum. And blood has so many important points, like it is respiratory in function, nutritive in function, excretory in function, maintains homeostasis, maintains homeostasis, transports hormones and enzymes, defensive mechanism, it regulates body temperature, and it exerts osmotic pressure. Hope it is clear to you. Thanks for listening.